Welcome to the Florida Trail Runners Project. Out in the woods, out in the swamps, down by the Willie Coochie. It started with a podcast, now it's a thing. The Florida Trail Runners. Florida Trail Runners.
All right, here we are with episode 120 of the Florida Trail Runners podcast. And on the chat, we're talking about the all-day at Holloway 50K put on by RunFluent with Justin Kaufmann and Jason Todd. Now, this race, they've got not only just the 50K, but they've got a 30K, a 10K, and a relay. I even had a blast out there doing the 10K. And for this one, it's over at Holloway Park in Lakeland, Florida. In the course, it's a dedicated cross-country course, so it's a great place to run. And yeah, you know what? With that, let's just jump right into it. Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Which K are you?
Jason.
Hey!
Hey, what's going on?
It's all good.
Can you guys hear me or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. There we go.
Yeah, easy enough. I mean, I don't know. How are you guys feeling? I know it's been some time since the 50K. How are y'all doing?
Good. I ran 10 miles the next day, did a 120-mile week. So, yeah, that was like a practice long run for me. Wasn't anything crazy. I rarely get sore after 50 milers too. So the next day I got on a plane, went home, and then next day woke up at 7 a.m. and went out for a run. So no soreness, anything. Perfect. Just kind of, I guess, how I operate with high miles and doing 12 ultras this year and been doing a bunch in the past. So
Yeah, for me, I've been dealing with sore ankles because coming to find out in my ultra running, I just started back in Colt 45 was the first one I ever done that long. And then I went to Spike Camp in Oregon for Mount Pisgah. And that's where I found out I had weak ankles. So I've been dealing with that. So like after the 50K, ankle sore. But then I still got it like 30 miles for the week. And then I'm back on as normal this week. So this week I'll get about 60.
are your sore ankles from just like your shoes or terrain, or is it more or less just lack of strength training?
Yeah, it's strength training. I was trying to figure it out on my massage therapist. She was kind of worried at first. I started putting pieces of the puzzle together uphill on a mountain. It didn't bother me. It was downhill. It's like the angle and just the terrain. I wear my laces, very loose. I thought that was the problem. It's just the fact that they're weak ankles.
What does she have you doing? Some band work and some like strength and conditioning, I guess, or?
Strength conditioning. I mean, I run as much as I can, and then she wants me to go to hot yoga, which I want to do. Which I want to do sauna anyway. And I'm like, how is this going to work? So I went 3 times last week. And everything I did, I could feel that part of the ankle hurting, which was working. And I could feel my big toe planting big time, that, inside your foot planting like you do when you run. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is going to work. Not only was it the 50K, but then I started the hot yoga last week. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's part why I'm a little sore, but we're going to gain ground.
Yeah, the hot yoga is life-changing, honestly. So challenging, but life-changing. If you've never, I stretch a lot, but I remember when I didn't used to a couple years ago, I'd go to yoga. I couldn't do half the shit they were telling me. So
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep. Yeah, no,
we got into this nice spot. My hammies were nice and stretched out, and they let me sleep through the whole thing. It was like, well, I guess you got out of it in 5 minutes, what people take the whole 15 for. So
there you go.
I was like, yeah, apparently.
and also got a Mobo board to help with the foot. Also, you just kind of sit and you plant your foot and you just kind of rock it back and forth, and it works the ankles too. So I'm doing that as well.
I've seen that before. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Those are good. Yeah, we used that when we ran in college. One of the guys had one of those. Before we dig too deep, we should probably do some introductions. Introduce yourselves and what's that running history, and I guess how did you all get into trail and ultra?
I'll go first this time. As far as running, I mean, as a kid, man, I always find myself running for some reason. I grew up in a boys club. My mom sent me to boys club as a kid just to stay out of trouble, but heck, I got in probably more trouble at boys club. And I found myself on the 4x100 team, either number 2 man or number 4 man. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then they put me in a 1.5 mile run, and I hated it. I did not want to do long distance. I wanted to be short and sweet and over with. I went to track meets as a teenager, and then I had a high school coach who was trying to, every day in between classes, trying to get me to run across country. I'm like, dude, I can't. And every day he would ask me, and I'm like, I finally have to tell this guy the truth. Well, I can't do it. And he asked me, well, why won't you do it? I said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, I cannot wear those short shorts and run cross country. I just can't do it. And man, this guy got so mad at me, he would not talk to me after that. Then I took a long break from running. I didn't run until probably about 10 years ago. I got serious again, did a couple of half marathons, went through a divorce, a lot of stuff happened. And then here I am about last October. I'm like, it's time to get better. And, I hadn't even started training for the Colt 45. I just looked it up and like, here we go. And I just started about 4 weeks out, power walking and jogging, and now we're on this train and I'm gonna stay on it.
That's all. How many ultras have you done since?
That's my second one.
Awesome.
I did the Colt 45, and then I just did this Holloway.
Is the Colt? I'm assuming the Colt 45 is what, 45 miles or?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. I could have guessed that.
Yeah, then July, I got another one scheduled in July. I got the Oregon Cascades 100. So.
Oh, you got the 100 miler?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. How much elevation is that?
Total is 10,000. It's like 10,000 gain and 11,000 loss. It's right around there somewhere.
Shit. That'll be a good one.
Earlier, you did mention that Mount Pisgah. You met Cameron Haynes out there, didn't you?
I did, yes. It was kind of as a funny story. I'll tell you a couple of jokes in this podcast, I guess. We get there, we fly in, super late or early that Thursday morning. We sleep in a little bit. I'm itching. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. I've been watching Cam Haynes for 8 years. I'm ready to go tackle this mountain, or think I'm going to tackle the mountain, right? And so we finally get there about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and my fiance, she's like, well, I'm about to hit up Cameron Haynes on Instagram, but hey, we're here, where you at? And we kind of laughed and joked about it, we're in the car, I'm out, and I only changed shorts. I got my golf shorts on, where you want to call them. They're kind of like some trunks too, and khakis. I just put my running shoes on and I start heading toward the trail. All of a sudden I see these like goldish yellow speed landing shoes coming down, like, man, that's shoes that Cam wears. And I look, and it's him and his cameraman, James Gideon. And I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, what do I do now? And they're probably like 20 yards from me. I just stopped. And I'm like, do I say his name? And I'm like, dude, I'm meeting him. And I'm like, Cam Haynes. And he automatically, on a dime, he stopped. You're always scared to meet your people you look up to or heroes because they might disappoint you. He came straight to me, introduced herself, and I say, do you mind meeting my family? He's like, absolutely not. He goes, let's go. And I told him the story about what my fiance just said. And his reply was, well, here I am, baby, let's go. And so we all joked and went to the car. The whole family couldn't believe it. I just sit here and ran into Cam Haynes, and I even thanked him as we're going back. He's going to his truck. I'm about to hit up the mountain. I paid him on the back, and I said, Cam, I appreciate you being so nice and being genuine. I'm sorry to bother you. He looked at me, he goes, man, it's all good. He goes, this is what I love to do, and no big deal. And he did not disappoint at all.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
I think he's a great guy. Truett follows me on Instagram too, and I think he just, from all of their like stuff that they put out, like they're just for the people. Like they seem so genuine as opposed to a lot of other. I wouldn't even call him an influencer. I don't know what I would call him. Like just a ultra guy, right? I don't think he influences like a lot of these younger influencers. I don't know if you guys know of other people, but I think he's just a down to earth, hardworking dude that just loves to like run, shoot his bow, and like help other people that want to get inspired. So that
I can't believe this. Like, how's this? People hate on him. The ones that hate on him are the ones that are basing on the keyboard,
Oh, give me a break. Yeah, those haters are.
Yeah, but this dude, if people got to meet him, he's super nice.
100%.
And then I ran into him on a mountain on Saturday, and it was pretty cool because I'm a nobody. Just going for Spike Camp and enjoy it. And he had Rachel with him, Inker, the pro runner, and James at the top of the mountain. And James was like, hey, man, how many summits you got? And we talked for a few minutes. And I told him 7 at the time. And then as I was coming down, Cam actually recognized me, high-fived me, and like, let's go, baby, let's get it. So that little small stuff is huge.
Yeah, it goes a long way, and it kind of reminds you of like why you kind of do it, and like also like what the ultra community is about as well. Like I know people can argue, I think it's a lot better than the marathon community, even though the marathon community is a lot bigger and you have a lot more support at a lot of these races. When you're doing ultras out there, all it takes is one person that you're running into to completely like change the rest of your life. You know what I mean? It's
Oh
more
yeah.
like one-on-one sentimental, I guess, rather than running like a marathon and like a New York, like a world major and having everyone screaming at you. When you're out in the woods and you have like a Cam Hanes fly by or like a David Goggins or somebody that you look up to, even like a pro like Hans Troyer or somebody big, and they give you that encouragement, they're actually genuine like you see online, it stays with you for the rest of your life and it just pushes you. It's like, yeah, this is kind of what it's about. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've also gotten to know his brother pretty good, Tater Spike. We talk almost daily in a group chat, and he's the same. He's the exact
Mhm.
same as Cam. Super nice, genuine, and just wanted to help everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Kaufman, I think it's your turn.
Oh yeah. So that's my fault. I didn't know if you guys wanted me to tap in. So I've been doing so I guess I grew up in a bodybuilding style. Like when I was 13 years old, I was like 240 pounds, very overweight. And then at age 16, I lost 100 pounds, got into bodybuilding. I never ran until I did my first Ironman in 2020, and I placed fifth in Cozumel. And then I tried keeping up with Ironmans, but I placed fifth and I placed fourth, and it just took up too much time because with work and stuff, it's like a full-time job on top of like a full-time job. And I was like, I don't really have the time for this. I don't really have the love for all three sports. And I hated running. It was my worst out of the three disciplines. So since then, I've done over 22 marathons. It was 3:36 was my first one. It was the worst experience of my life. Didn't wear the right socks, blisters on my feet, chafing, no gels, no water, had absolutely no idea what I was doing, right? It's different than the Ironman, even though I had that running experience, but you're not running 70, 80, 100-mile weeks preparing for an Ironman while you're trying to bike and swim. So I got a little bit bored of the marathons and then went through a breakup in 2023 in March, and then signed up for my first ultra in May 6th, I think it was, of 2023. That was a 50 miler with like 5K feet of elevation. I placed, I think, overall was like 22nd, 16th. And I was just like second age group, which at the time wasn't crazy. It was like 25. And I was like, damn, I really want to come in first because I'm competitive. And then since then, I've done 7 ultras on Ultra Sign Up. I've done 3 outside of Ultra Sign Up, just like backyard ultras and stuff. So I've been doing it for a while. And then this year I'm doing 12 ultras just because I want to kind of push myself. Because when I got into marathons, I kind of set out to do a marathon a month. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of falling in love with running again. Like my body's used to 135 mile weeks, which is typically my peak week at times. 50 miles around 6 hours, 20 minutes. I think if I give myself 5 years of this sport, I could really do something incredible for myself, because it's always you versus you, right? There's always going to be someone faster. And if you look at these times for these 50 milers and these Black Canyons and these pros, it's like never going to be that fast. Like you have to respect it. Like as much as you train, like they're just so genetically gifted. And I'm a little bit bigger, muscular, so weight kind of plays a role with that. But yeah, I've just fallen in love with it for, I think, this last year when I finally started to hit like 135-mile weeks and my body adjusted. I was like, damn, like all of this work of doing ultras for 3 years is starting to pay off, and I'm trying to like see the benefits. So let's do the 12 ultras. It's not smart from a performance standpoint as a lot of people think, but some I'm racing, some I'm going to try and PR, others I'm just going to use as a long run and build up for like a 50 miler, especially like a lot of these 50Ks. So yeah, that's kind of the whole gist of getting into running. And then kind of what the year is looking like and the plan ahead, even though, I'm only going on my third. I don't want to take up too much time and talk about all the other ultras, but, it's month by month, and you just have to look at the race that's ahead of you and the training block that you had and kind of just go into it with everything you got. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've built a pretty big following online. I think that's one of the first things I heard about it when you finished, or somewhere in a group chat, someone mentioned that. But like, has that kind of influenced your running journey?
Not on Instagram. On TikTok, I started posting last year. So I wanted to PR. It's called Beast of the Burden. I don't know if you guys heard about that or no.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. So I did Beast of the Burden. When did I do Beast of the Burden?
2023, I think.
Yeah. So And I was on course for 7 hours and I completely shit the bed and I was not happy. I came in second overall and I was just like, I'm going back there. So I wanted to go back there in 2025. I trained my ass off. I was on course for 550, 6 hour, 130-mile weeks. And then it got canceled 2 days before the event. Cause I don't know if you guys remember, there were fires in Canada and the air quality was just like super yellow and thick and they canceled it. And I was like super pissed off because you train all this and you want to kind of go PR. It was a while since I ran my last ultra and it just gets canceled. So I'm like, what the hell? So I started posting on TikTok and now I've got 40K followers there. Nothing like Instagram, but I've had my Instagram for 15 years. So it's a compound effect there. But I just give out free information and I really motivate a lot of people because my style of training is very against the grain. It's very zone 3. I don't do much 80-20 at times. Like I'm very big on doing race pace efforts back to back on the weekends and eating 5,000 calories and recovering and strength training. And I've been injury free for 5 years, knock on wood. So the TikTok definitely influences me in a very good way, but it doesn't influence me to like do what I'm doing, right? I only do that internally. The external part is just non-existent for me. Like I go into a lot of these races with, zero emotion, zero anything. If people come up to me at races, like I raced in California and 2 people saw me on the course and I was like, this is awesome. And then after we kind of exchanged numbers, gave them some information, we still talk, to this day, even though it's only been 2 months. So the social media part, if you take it away from me, I'm still going to run for the rest of my life until I die. It's just a massive addiction and a competitiveness within me. It's all internal. The social media for me is just putting out free information and helping other people and practicing what I preach, which I think social media is very big on. It's people kind of like the entertainment or the education. And in the ultra, endurance world, the entertainment is not as sexy as like a marathon. It's getting bigger, but it's not as big as like running New York City Marathon or 50,000 people, that kind of thing. So when you put out education and it helps people, it just drives me internally. So the external factor is just, not really there, if that makes sense. It's just more or less for myself. So, it's just the compound effect of growing followings and kind of, trying to help the community best that you can, because as I talked about before, the ultra community, whether it's Cam or anybody else, is just, it's sentimental for people, right? Everybody kind of like looks up to someone, or like Andy Glaze, I'm sure everyone knows of, right? Great guy, like he motivates tons of people and he doesn't race all of these races. He just goes out there and he loves it. And he practices what he preaches. So I kind of try and do the same thing with my style of training in ultras. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting, like when we all get into trail and ultra, because I feel like our backgrounds are always so different. I mean, high school cross country background, some people just have a weight loss background. Some people do have that triathlon or Ironman background, and then obviously bodybuilding for some folks. But I feel like we all, we end up having like different running styles or even the training methodologies. All the running personalities are very different.
Yeah, I think everybody has some type of, I feel like fitness background to a point. Like you kind of, to do ultras, you kind of have to have something within you. And I think that going back, it stems from childhood. Like if you're a basketball player, if you've done track and field before, whether you've done some type of lifting, you kind of like grow into that discipline and that competitiveness. And as you get older, you're like looking for those challenges, and that ultra world just gives you them. There's so many races, there's so many different distances, there's so much, climate elevation, there's so many variables that you can actually get challenged by, that everybody just kind of like looks for it. I think if they're done doing, for example, bodybuilding in my eyes, or, track and field, and you get to a certain age where you're like, just going to go out there and have fun. But yeah, I think it definitely stems from something in that competitiveness from like another sport. I don't really know too many people that grow up at a young age. I don't know, maybe you guys can tap in or know a friend that are like 14, 15, be like, yeah, I'm going to be an ultra runner. I feel like you just kind of like grow into that path after you do certain sports and you're looking for that next challenge. So
yeah, I agree. I think it's a bunch of self-determination, and as you get older, you want that mental challenge, and like show your kids and your family, hey, I can push myself. I can do it. You can do whatever you want also. Plus for me, it's getting out there, man, in the woods and meeting people along the way, and not only that, but I know when I'm out there, I'm going to push myself harder than a lot of other people that isn't going to run or do it. And I'm going to get to see a lot of different things out there, especially in the mountains, here in July. I'll get to see views and peaks and valleys that I would never get to see if I wasn't doing it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm jealous of that. I don't really get that here much in New York City. I've got to travel for every race, but yeah, no, some of the views and scenic, it kind of takes you back in life. I
Oh
think
yeah, big time.
yeah, kind of makes you feel. I don't know. Maybe you guys can agree. Ultras kind of make you feel grounded in the moment. And they take you back to like what really matters the most in your life, and where
Oh
you're
yeah,
at and stuff like that. And it's a great place not only for therapy, but for you to really be in tune with yourself. And I think that's where you find out who you really are. And a lot of people say that. And I know it sounds cliche, but when you're out there in the woods with a scenic route and you're at mile 50 and you got 50 more left in 100, you're like, crap, like it's just you. And you kind of just have to like really quiet the mind and, I guess compile all your whys and who you love and what matters and drive all those emotions till you get to the finish line.
yeah, I agree. When I run, even in training, I never listen to music, earbuds, or anything. I very seldom even have my cell phone with me. So for me, it's a huge thought process and looking, kind of reflection in the mirror, like, hey, you can do this and make yourself better every step. So that's some of the things I like about it.
Yeah, I'm big on the no headphones because
Oh yeah.
a lot of the time in races, like I don't think you should be. I don't know if you guys saw this. I think Ironman's always allowed no headphones and stuff, but now they won't allow like certain Meta Ray glasses. I don't know what it was. I think like that's what every race should be like, no music or nothing like that. And
I agree.
as you go into the no races, well, you're going to have to train that way because if you train with music all the time and you're alone with your thoughts for, let's just say 50K, let's just say 5 hours, well, a lot of people may not finish that race because, they don't have music to drive them or they don't have like an emotion from the music and they just don't know what to think about. It's very powerful when you go into a training session with no headphones and you can kind of just quiet the mind.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would love that. I'd love to go to the starting line and somebody say on the speaker, hey, just so you know, no cell phones, no earbuds. I would be excited.
Yeah, I do run with my cell phone, just in case anything happens. Cause I had COVID back in, December and it put me in an AFib and I was in the
Oh
hospital for
man.
like, I was in the hospital for like a week. It was a shit show. So I just run with my cell phone in case anything were to happen and I start to get any type of thuds or anything. So
Oh yeah.
I think it's a smart move to always run with your cell phone. I mean, granted, a lot of the times on these races, depending if you're in the mountains, you're not going to get that, but it could be the difference between, say you fall and you break your ankle or something does, knock on wood happen that you can, hopefully give someone a call. So I think I don't mind that.
Yep.
But yeah, the music thing I think is, even for marathons too, I don't see it as like a hazard, but I just see it as like another challenge and for you to be really in tune with the course itself, the people, the crowd, or in our case, nature and everything else, depending on what, the course is like for an ultra.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about that. I think a lot of my normal runs happen to be on the same spot every single time. So a lot of times I do slip in some music or a podcast, but I know when I do like a speed workout, there's no music at all. I want to hear how my body's sounding. I want to hear my thoughts. I want to be very focused and dialed in, at least when I'm doing a speed workout. So at that point, I don't have music because I mean, even to come race day, yeah, you're not wearing headphones.
Yeah, you got to
I
practice.
agree.
You got to race how you train and practice. And if, you don't have those headphones, it'll just go to that race and I think it'll be tough for some people.
I
Yep,
mean,
I agree.
some people are just more of a send it type of runner, or they're like the steady grinder, just out there for a good time, or even like the just survive the day, type of runner. And it's
Yeah.
interesting how some people are just, let me just ride the lightning, or they just want to math everything out and look at the stats and develop a plan.
Yeah, I'm big on the analytics and stuff like that. I think if you can look at your training and go into a race, it builds confidence, especially for like a new time ultra runner, because ultras can be, it's just like public speaking, right? Maybe if you guys have have gone to like an event before you get on the stage with 100 people, it could be nerve wracking for the first one, and then of course just like ultras and running, you build a confidence. But I think the confidence is built in training. So if you can look at your stats and you can stack them, and you can look at your paces and be like, hey, I did a 25-mile run, like 5 more miles is a piece of cake. I think it kind of helps calm the nerves for a lot of new runners because ultras can be overwhelming and scary. And, it's it's a problem solving experience. So if you've never done a lot and you go into the first one and things kind of like go to shit, you're like, oh, what do I do? Because you've never been there. So I like to look at the analytics and kind of check my boxes when it comes to certain stuff. But some races, I don't even look at the map and I just kind of go into it and be like, hey, just want to enjoy the day today and just kind of figure it out as I go. So depends.
Yeah, I think for an ultra, I'm definitely more just let's ride the lightning, see how it rolls.
Yeah.
But I mean, for this 10K, I was looking at my data, my stats, my aerobic threshold. My aerobic threshold per my stats said 38 minutes for the 10K. Now I went out to go 36s. And I found out that first mile, nope, we got to crank it back to.
What was the heart rate? Are you going off a heart rate too, as well as pacing, or?
For the data that I pulled was power output and then heart rate.
Got it.
And then I use specific workouts to then pull and match data.
Smart.
Yeah, for me, I kind of go off my training, those longer days. Like I did a marathon probably 2 weeks before the 50K. I ain't signed for 50K yet, but I treated it as like I was doing an ultra. So like my neighborhood's 5 mile loop. If you run every road, and I'd come back to the house and take a gel and drink water, and I'd take off again. So I kind of base everything off my training too. And then
very smart.
It makes me more confident for race day for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Some people, that's a perfect way to look at the course and know if it's going to be a loop or it's just going to be an out and back. And I think that's how you should train. Because I guess, like you just said, you build a confidence and then you go into race day and your body can expect to show up and feel good and do good. And kind of like you can control the variables that are there. So, it takes away from it.
Yeah. I think too, the more you train at the house stuff, it's kind of like your car engine starts getting other gears, your heart rate drops, your pace is getting better and better, your heart rate keeps dropping. And I go off heart rate too. Like for the race, I was trying to do 155 the whole time. That did not work out during the race at all. But
what did you get to?
Oh, dude, I was spiked at 160, 170 the whole entire time.
Ooh. Was it the heat, you think, or was it just?
I think it was, I don't know. I don't think it was the heat because I run into heat all the time.
I figured, yeah.
But I think it was adrenaline because I told my fiance, like, hey, we're going to this race. I said, my next one, I said, we're going to push it. I said, I'm either not going to finish or we're going to finish good.
Yeah.
So I think it was that, the adrenaline. And I mean, the first mile wasn't at your pace, but for me, I was like 8:30 or 8:40. I'm like, damn, okay. And the body was feeling good. I look at my watch, I'm like 165. I'm like, oh my God. So immediately started doing everything I always do to lower my heart rate, breathing, that type of stuff, deep breaths while I'm running, and none of it worked. It did not work all day.
Yeah, I feel like once you're up there, I feel like it's hard to get, it's really hard to, once you're at like a 150, 160, it's really hard for it to drop like 15, 20 beats unless you drop your pacing by X amount. And then from there, you don't really push yourself on that goal, So
the body was feeling good. I just kept going.
Yeah, once you punch it up like that, the aerobic system's pretty much just playing catch up instead of like staying in control. Because after my first mile, I could feel it in my quads, but when I looked at my data, my heart rate I think it was well over 180.
Oh, man.
And for the 10K, my sustained heart rate right in the middle of that race was like 177 to 180 on average.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you train like that, I think that, you're going to be able to hold it. I think some people come to like, they don't train, they don't ever train their heart rate that high and they get to a race and they expect to do what you did and then they fall on the floor. It's not safe. It's not smart. So,
that's where I knew to dial it back to a 616 mile instead of 540.
Yeah, 540s is, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I read the description wrong. I think the course said flat. I think it said like flat fast course, but I was kind of like a little bit rolling here and there. You had some like up a little smaller hills, little like downwards. So 545 pace on that's actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know what? We'll get into that. You're already bringing that up. I guess, how did you guys even find out about the all day at Holloway? What made you want to sign up and go for it?
Go for
it. That's a great question I had for Kaufmann too, coming from New York. Like, how did he pick Lakeland, Florida?
Talk to me.
We'll get to that.
Go for it.
But yeah, for me, man, I was just looking at ultra signups, and I think I seen on my Instagram page all day at Holloway. And I'm like, well, dang, I need a long run anyway for training and to keep pushing myself. So I was like, heck, I think I signed up on that Monday or Tuesday before. And I ran a half marathon there before. Probably like 6 years ago. It rained all night the night before. It rained at the start at the first hour of the race, and people were sliding and falling everywhere because that sand out there is that phosphate pit mines sand, and it gets very slick when it's wet. So I was hoping that Friday night was gonna rain all night, and going into Saturday, that's what I was hoping for. But it was just looking at Ultra Sign Up. That's how I found it.
That's what did you sign up for the race? How far out did you sign up for the race?
Like 4 days before the race. I think I signed up on that Monday night or Tuesday night before the race.
I mean, of course, I'm always on Ultra Sign Up, kind of looking at stuff, but I had a race planned for February here in New York. It was actually in Jersey, and it was a 50 miler, and we got dumped with snow for like 2 weeks, and it was going to be in the trails, and then we got like an email from the race director that Tuesday, right before the race, basically the same day as Holloway. It was basically like, we cut the course in half because of flooding, because of slush, because of whatever. Make sure you wear your trail shoes. And this winter for me is extremely cold. Like, I'm looking to move out west. I'm born and raised in New York. So for me, the East Coast and with going all in on ultra running just doesn't cut it. And I just had enough of the winter, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I was just in California for the 50. I'm looking to move out there hopefully this year. So I'm like, I need something because I can't not stick to my word and do a ultra every month. I was looking at the Moab. I think they had one on the same day, Moab Ultra Hot or something like that. And then I was looking at flights, and they were too expensive, and I couldn't find a hotel that was close enough to the race. And I was just like, whatever. So I saw this one, and I was like, all right, first time, wonder if it's going to be competitive. I was like, screw it. Emailed my coach, Matt Daniels, who's awesome. And I was just like, hey, new game plan. He's like, let's do it. Let's get adjusted to the heat a little bit early. Go out there, treat it like a training run. I want your heart rate, well under 150, don't do anything dumb, no PR, have some fun. Signed up, booked a flight Thursday, flew in Friday night, woke up, and then got to the race. And then we just, had some fun. So Ultra Sign Up was where I found it, but it was like a last minute pivot because I just wasn't doing the slush and the slosh and the new course of the 50 miler. I just knew I wasn't going to have fun, and I was tired of the snow. So I had to get to Florida. So it was perfect.
Good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I've done a couple in Florida. I've done the Daytona one. I don't know if you guys done the Daytona 50 or 100. I forget what it's called. I think that's what it's called, Daytona 50 or 100.
Yeah, I looked at it. I hadn't done it, but I looked at the 100. Of course, I hadn't done 100 yet, but
yeah, I think it's just flat course, pretty hot, all road. So, used to training on the road here, so that course kind of suited me well. I know a bunch of people that have done that one.
Yeah, Holloway is nice, though. I like the course. I ran it, practiced there a couple times, had a marathon, had a Bobcat right out in front of me one time.
A Bobcat, shit.
Yeah, Bobcat. I started right up that hill where they called the fairway, the big, huge, wide gap when you first start up the hill. It was right there, ran straight across in front of me. I'm like, oh, nice. But yeah, it's a nice course.
Yeah. Do you guys do trail shoes or you had road shoes? Yeah. Did you do what kind of shoes did you do?
I got the, of course, Sahoka Clifton.
Yeah.
10s. Yeah.
Got them. Those have some good grip on them.
I'm going to get some trail shoes here in a minute. It's the, help me out here, Sahokas. It's the new one, the Speed Goats. I'm going to get those. Yeah,
I heard the Speed Goats just came out. I heard a lot of people are like sizing up a little bit, like half a size up on them too. But I guess you got to try them on. Everyone's different.
Yeah, here in Florida, you can get away with not having trail shoes for the most part for our races. I mean, at Holloway, I was wearing the Hoka Carbon X's.
Carbon X's. Are those the marathon ones?
Those are it was an older model I got for $30 on eBay because I always wanted to try.
$30, man.
Yeah, I always wanted to try a carbon shoe, but I never wanted to spend like $200 on it. And I've kind of liked this old pair.
That's pretty cool. $30.
Now, granted, it was 10K, not the 50K.
Yeah. You can get it. You can get away with that. Yeah, you can get away with some stuff at the 10K.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my opinion, like this course, it makes it easy to have like a solid game plan, or at least have some kind of expectation. Because I don't know if there's people who have never been out there before, but Holloway Park, it's a dedicated like cross country course. High school, NCAA. When I was in college, we ran at that course all the time. So I mean, it's a very runnable course from start to finish.
Yeah, I saw it was like a D2 cross country course when I was like looking it up.
Yeah, my son he ran cross country in high school, Moldus, and he ran out there at Holloway quite a few times. So yeah, a lot of people go out there.
That's awesome. I could see that. They host them a lot of the times, or is it kind of just when cross country's in season, or?
It's mainly when cross countries in season, especially for the high school kids and all that. It's all the time out there.
Yeah, that's how it was. We had probably 2 invites out there, and then NCAA regionals was out there. We had conference out there, a lot of big cross country meets.
That's sick. Do you guys wear the spikes then, or with those, or?
Yeah.
I figured. What is that? A lot of 5Ks too?
I know college we used the 8K course, and then we add some. At least for NCAA regionals is a 10K distance, but we didn't run that 10K course. But I thought about pulling out my old cross country spikes for that 10K.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna ask you that. That would have been a move, I think. But
I think it would work.
It would have been a move, except they've been in the attic for I think 7 years.
And they might have fell apart on you,
bro. I put them on, and the glue. They just separated instantly.
Yeah, no, that's not a good move. Those suckers probably heated up over the years, and they just shot.
Oh, I threw them in the trash and like, all right, thanks for the memories.
So sad.
But I mean, what did y'all think of the course? Because maybe describe it as people who wouldn't know. What's it even like out there?
For me, I would say it's like an old phosphate pit course. But it's almost like old Florida a little bit, not as much. That course is very manicured. I mean, they do a great job keeping it mowed and this and that. But you still got your little bit of rocks. You got a little bit of roots and stuff. You got your little rolling hills. You got marked very well. I think City of Lakeland does a great job of maintaining that course, I think it might be the county that has it, either one. But they're out there all the time mowing and stuff. They do a great job. For me, I think it is a great place to go to just for practice runs for the trails. I say that I'm only 20 minutes away, and I need to get out there more often. So I think anybody that's looking in Lakeland, this area, getting in the trail running, it's a great place. It's marked well. I don't think you can get lost, and it'll get you used to the trails for sure.
Yeah, I think I can agree. I was expecting flat, but then I guess we can call them like gentle rolling hills for sure. Like it's not definitely flat as well. I would call them like short hills and some ridges. I think they, nailed it on the nose. It's very well maintained and stuff like that. No major roots, no major rocks, grasses to a T of where you can see it in case, you step into a hole or something like that. So basically, if you're going to run it, you've got some packed dirt. I think there was a couple sand patches, if I remember correctly, but nothing crazy. Occasional root sections here and there. But other than that, it was just a beautiful, grassy, loopy, gentle rolling hill course. I don't think there was much elevation. Maybe every loop, I don't know, 50 to 100 if that, maybe 60, not even. But that's as expected on some rolling hills and stuff. So
I mean, even with the hills, you do get a nice downhill.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And for me, coming from the Pisgah, when I did the spike camp, that's what I struggled at the most. It sounds weird, but for me, I struggled mainly going downhill just because of the speed. I couldn't believe how people can go that fast down a mountain. They're like flying goats. And I'm like, how can they do this? And, man, that's what really tore my ankles up. So for me, the little downhills that they have, I practiced it at Holloway as in, hey, let's go full speed down them just to try and practice for that. So for me, it was good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think downhills in a race, you've got more, eccentric muscle loading and stuff. And, flat running, you get 2 to 3 times the body weight. Downhill is definitely 3 to 4 to 5. So if you're not strength training for a lot of runners, the downhill courses can rip you up. Like when you're going uphill, of course it's difficult, but a lot of the load isn't really, a lot of the load in the body weight really isn't on the quads there. It's really on the downhill. Plus gravity too. You've got to, depending on the hill, you've got to counter that. So yeah. I'm big on the downhills and sending them and stuff. And then in the gym, a lot of squats, 5-second negatives, leg extensions, 10-second negatives. And then when you get to any type of hill and stuff like that, it's a lot easier, less fatigue, more strength. So yeah, that's a good thing that you mentioned the hills, because some runners don't, they'll never do hill work. And then from there, yeah, difficult.
Yeah, great. I guess weak ankles, I keep bringing it up as part of my family because I guess my mom's side, they all have it as a kid. I mean, I played basketball 24/7. I did run. I'm not that many years where I did CrossFit all the time. So I did air squats, step ups, lunges, awesome. You name it. And my ankles still get tore up. So it's very different. As you mentioned, running downhill is very different.
Yeah. And plus the injury risk downhill definitely goes up as well. You roll an ankle a lot more, a lot easier on a downhill than you can on an uphill. So you've got like Achilles overload. You can get shin splints here and there. Obviously, knee pain comes with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know when I was training for Tahoe 200, I did a lot of downhill specific workouts where I wasn't really sprinting downhill, but it was let's go fast and let's focus on form as we tear down this hill. And I would say that definitely paid dividends later.
Mm-hmm. That's the good thing you said that. Do you know who David Roche is?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch his YouTube and stuff, he is very big on hill work. And, obviously, if you look at his Leadville documentary, the way that he was training for that, he bombs the downhills. So, yeah, that kind of reminded me of him when you said that, because you guys kind of sounds like you train similar when it comes to some hill work and stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people train the ups, but they forget to train the downs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm new to it, and you can laugh at me, but I did not know that downhill was that bad until it happened. I'm like, oh man, I got some serious work to do.
Yeah. But you get caught up pretty quickly. It's a month or two, depending if you're programming them in 2-3 times or you're doing like a long run every week. Before you know it, you're good to go. Of course, it depends on the descend and what that looks like on the numbers, but.
Yeah, even if you're training the ups, yeah, you could do a multi-layer thing, especially if you're programming a workout. You could do it where you're working hard to go up, you're pushing, you're running, and then some of that needs to be in that, like, what's it called, like a speed hiker, power hiker. You want to be in that biomechanic and really push up those hills, because you're going to go up and down these hills, or you're going to go up these hills, and definitely different stances of your race. So your biomechanics are going to change. So you do need to replicate that in your training.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you nailed that on the nose.
Good old hills. But yeah, I guess we can kind of jump into the race, and it is mostly flat. There are a few hills, so not to strike the fear in everybody that this is a super hilly course. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, you show up, it's nice and foggy, it's cool in the morning. Chris and Evie, they do their prayer, the race takes off, and I guess, take me into that first loop, because I feel like because it's 10K loops, 5x10K for y'all. How did that first loop go down? Because I feel like in that first loop, you really get settled in. You figure out what the course is like.
For me, it's really weird because I didn't get settled until the third loop, which I think was mile 15. And I don't know why. I just didn't really find my groove. And I think it was because I was using the Adidas Pro 4s, and I was expecting flat, but with the ups, the downs, the sand, the Adidas Pro 4s didn't really hold up that much. And then I switched over to the Adidas trail shoes, and I was like, this is not a trail shoes, it's just not a trail shoe course. And then the third loop, I switched back to the Adidas Pro 4s, and then I just kind of got into my groove there. So when the race went off, I was like, because, I kind of just went into the race. I'm like, oh, 50K. Everyone here is running a 50K. That's what I had in the back of my head. And then I'm like, who the hell is going off the gun at like a 5:30 pace sprinting? And I'm in like third place. And I'm like, I'm so fucked today. Like I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to try and settle in. And then, the first course for me, I don't know if you guys do this, if it's a looped course, I kind of do what I like to call spotting, where I'll look for certain markers and I'll look at my watch and I'll be like, okay, I'm at mile 1. It'll take me X amount of time to get to mile 2, or I'll look for like a tree, or I'll look for something. So I was kind of like using the first 2 loops to kind of spot, because I don't like to look at my watch at all, period. I like to be very in tune with just the course, nature, how I'm feeling, my breathing, and just holding a certain pace. Like, I'm sure like you guys know as well, when you guys run, I'm sure you can be like, oh, I feel like I'm running at a 7:45 pace. Check your watch. You're off by 5 or 6 seconds or 10 seconds, but that's relatively close. So yeah, it took me a while to settle in. And I think it was because I was like a little bit upset. I was like, damn it, these Adidas Pro 4s are not doing me good right now. And then the trail shoes didn't work. And then when I saw somebody pass me and he like, don't look at my bib. And I was like, are you passing me for the 50K? He goes, no, I'm here for I think it was like a K2. And I was like, oh, then I was like, in the back of my head, there's other people doing different style, different distances. So that was kind of my thought process. And then after the third loop, I just kind of like settled in, had fun. Every race I passed people and I encouraged them. Headphones were off. Good job. Keep it up. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, if somebody were to pass me and I was struggling on that day, I would definitely want to hear those words to kind of keep me going, because I think we're all out there battling something internally, and we all kind of think about our whys, whether they're good or negative, and we all get inspired from them. And for a lot of people, if you think you're having a bad day, there's people on ultra courses that have had conversations with me where I thought I had a bad life, and they tell me their story and I'm like, holy shit, it takes me back, and I'm like, yeah, this guy, this girl, way more powerful than I thought. So the third, the fourth, the fifth loop, I was just inspiring everyone, keep it up, proud of you, keep going. And that's what kind of gave me energy just to finish in like high spirits, even though I finished that run and I wasn't happy because it wasn't a PR. And I think when you get to a point where you're very competitive, every race wants to be a PR. But with all the ultras that I'm doing, it's just, if you want to be smart and you want to complete what you said to do, everyone can't be a PR while trying to train and stuff like that. So I finished it and I was like, I should have gone 3:30. Like, I had way more in me, but the next day I had 10 miles planned. I wasn't sore and it was perfect. So I guess that's kind of how the day went for me, but yeah.
Yeah. For me, I get there in the morning, like I already mentioned earlier, I went into it, telling my fiance that, hey, next race, I'm going to push it. We're not going to finish. We're going to finish pretty good. I was confident, not too overconfident. I wanted to get top 3. But I got to the race. I'm kind of looking around, scanning, and Joseph, you could laugh. I seen you come up and I seen you start warming up, and I'm like, oh man, that guy's good. Okay. And then I look around a few more. I'm like, okay, we got some strong runners out here. Like, you can tell when people are strong runners, this and that. I'm like, so I look at her and I'm like, okay, maybe not top 3, probably top 2, top 10, And so I kind of laughed, and she laughed at that. But I kind of started towards the front of the pack because I just didn't want to get bottlenecked with the multi classes and this and that. Kind of want to get out front early, have a gel pack, so maybe my water. I forgot my tailwind on the first lap. I try to carry everything with me to just get ready for the Oregon race in July. I wear my vest and all that, just trying to get used to that type of stuff. I'm like confident. When I'm out there, no headphones. If I'm passing somebody, they're passing me, I'm definitely engaging that conversation, smiling, like, hey, how you doing? Keep your head up. If I see somebody struggling, I'll even ask them, hey, do you need anything? Because like Justin said, if I'm struggling, having a bad day, that might help me out. I just get in tune out there. I don't mark the course or anything. I just try to get back as quick as possible. My goal was to get done in 5 hours. It was 5 hours and 37 minutes. But overall, the day went pretty well. I didn't have any issues at all. The body didn't hurt. Ankles felt just a little tender going about lap or loop 4. But I did have one issue. And I still don't know why the issue happened. It's kind of funny. Body hadn't hurt all morning. Start loop 4. My fiance says, like, hey, do you want to sit down? I'm like, absolutely not. It's time to get this over with. We're cooking. I'm doing good. The heart rate's jacked, but the body's keeping up. And for me, every 30 minutes, I'm taking a gel pack, practicing. Take my tailwind, about 18, 20 ounces every hour, and then along with some water also, just to practice and fuel the body, keep it going. So on lap 4, I start and I go up that big hill, and me and this runner engage in a conversation. We're both like excited. I think he ended up finishing 6th or 4th, and we're both pumped up, excited. And all of a sudden, I get that runner's high. It goes down on my feet and comes back up. And man, when it did, my quads locked up, and I'm like, we got a problem. Like, I just started to look forward, and I mean, these things are locked to where I can't even move hardly. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had I think I had 3 gel packs on me. I took all 3 of them, sucked down every single bit of my tailwind right then and there. I mean, I just started, so I needed to take all that. I had my water, my vest. So that did help a little bit. So I don't know if I got behind early in the race. I thought I had a good game plan, so I kind of got to work on that and figure it out with my coach. So I don't know if it was I didn't feel the body right to begin with, or if the runner's high actually had something to do with it. So from that point forward, man, I could probably run 5 or 10 minutes, and then I had to walk for 1 minute just to get the quads to come down. So, but other than that, that's the only issue I had, and it was a fantastic day, and everybody was great. The prayer and all that at the beginning, and Justin, he did lap me, so I was kind of embarrassed by that, and knowing that
No.
even the fact that he changed his shoes and he still lapped me, I think that's pretty impressive. Nah,
Nah.
but it was a great day though, man. It was great. It was fun. That was the only issue I had.
Did you have you tested your sweat rate with your coach, or?
I have not done that yet. No.
Yeah, shoot them a text, because I coach a lot of athletes and I'm big on my sweat rate. Like, I test it. So Precision Fuel and Hydration, kind of like sponsors me and partnerships with me and stuff like that. And they have a genetic sweat test, but you could test it by other ways. And if you text your coach, they'll know. It sounds like it was just like a fuel. I think it was just the fueling. And if you take a gel, you said every 30 minutes, you could have just been behind on carbohydrates too. I'm a very big high carb guy, 150 grams of carbs minimum for a lot of my races. So
Right.
I've never had an issue cramping, seizing, and my fluid every hour on that race was 45 ounces and about 2250 milligrams of electrolytes. So it was a lot higher than I'm sure most, but I was coming from New York City, and my sweat rate's about 30 ounces an hour here in New York when it's about 50 degrees, and I had no idea how hot it was going to be, so I just adjusted for that. But I think it sounds like a little bit of a nutrition problem. Doesn't sound like a fitness problem at all, but I think it was probably hydration as well. So maybe test that and see going into races. But it sounds like you had a great day overall besides that.
Besides that, it was great, though. Let me tell
Yeah.
you what, man, my quads never looked so good in my life until they locked up. I looked down, I'm like, man, how can they keep being like this all the time? It'd be normal. But that was kind of funny. Yeah, I kind of laughed, like, dude, I can't, like, I'm competitive like you are. I'm like, dude, I figured I was top 8, top 10 at the time. I didn't know it was 7th or whatever at the time. I was like, dude, we got to go. Like, I'm trying to get this
Yeah.
over with and this, but it was all good.
We gotta get these quads up.
Oh yeah, I'm working on it.
See, that's the thing. I felt that in the first mile, and I'm like, oh man, my quads. And I knew that was just threshold because I'm a big carb fan. I think so. 2 hours out, I did the bicarb.
Hell
Hour
yeah.
out, yeah. An hour out, I did 2 Science and Sport Pro gels, and then about 20 minutes out, I had a Morton gel, and obviously just doing electrolytes and water in between. And I mean, I ran, I finished. Right as I finished, I took 2 gels, and I felt good other than my knee, but that's a whole nother separate issue. But other than that, I never had any tightness or anything like that.
Yeah, you're a pretty big high carb. I mean, because in that bicarb, it's what? It's is it 40 or 60?
The bicarb's pretty high.
I think it may be 120. Am I wrong?
I forget off the top of my head, but
I just got more in the mail. I don't want to open it, but
Well, listen to y'all. I definitely did not do all that beginning. I had eggs and sourdough toast and gel right before the race started. So that was not enough carbs at the very beginning.
yeah, I had bicarb, a bagel, and 4 servings of maple syrup. So that's about 300 carbs before the race. And then I had about 45 ounces of water with 2,000 milligrams of sodium from about 4:30, sipping on it all the way up and until the race. And then I just fuel with maple syrup. So I did 150 grams of carbs, and then I had a Coca-Cola lap 3 because I don't know what it is. I always get like a high as soon as I have that Coca-Cola. 45 minutes after, I get like a second wind. So yeah, kind of my fueling strategy there.
Yeah, I forgot. You're big on the maple syrup.
Only maple syrup, baby. Hell yeah. Everything else screws up my stomach. Maple syrup and Coca-Cola, but for me, I'm not going to carry, Coca-Cola on me for that much. The amount of volume that you get from maple syrup, so easy. Every store has it. You put it in the 3-ounce or 5-ounce shampoo bottle, depending on how much carbohydrates you take. So much less volume than a gel. Literally, the size of a 3-ounce maple syrup shampoo bottle is literally, if you put it side by side, is the same as 1 gel. You have 100 grams of carbs compared to 20 or 25. So I'm very, very big on that. And it's great to have around the house because I'm at 500-600 grams of carbs a day. And I have French toast and I have cereal. And if for some reason, with all my work meetings, I do miss a meal, I'm behind, I could just pour maple syrup on top of French toast or have some, drink some, and I got my carbs, and it's great pre-run and stuff like that. For me, it's not chemically made. There's no acid in it. There's no chemicals. It's pure. Never once in 5 years have I had any type of digestion issues with that period. So a lot of the gels can do that.
Yeah.
That's
And if you
pretty
get into bicarb, that's something that you have to get used to.
I was going to ask you about that. I just started every time. And this is one thing I need to practice on the course. It could be too much information. I always got to go. There's just nothing in me that can hold it back. I don't know how some of these runners, like professionals, do it unless they take something that prevents them from shitting their pants. But for me, with this bicarb, every time I have it, mile 12 or 20, I'm finding a toilet. And if I'm not, I've just gotta send it because I don't know if it's just, maybe should I take it the night before? Is that a thing? Or you want to take it in the morning?
I'm usually 2 or 3 hours out.
2 or
and then I'm good.
3 hours. I should try 3 hours. Damn.
So I think you want to be 2 hours ideally. You don't want to be too close, otherwise you will have it won't be good.
I swear by that stuff though. On a lot of because that Sunday before the race, I had 1 mile easy, 4 miles at 6:20. Repeat that for 20 miles, and I had the bicarb to practice, and I had to go at mile 10. But I felt a huge difference when I had that workout from the workout before, because I had the same workout that week, and I was like, okay, I feel a little bit good here. That wasn't like a threshold pace or workout, but I just wanted to try it to see. And I just felt fresh the entire time. I don't know if it was the weather or something like that, but that stuff is by science really good. And I think it works for a lot of people.
Well, I'll have to look into both these bicarb. And I was wondering where maple syrup came from with you, but now it makes sense. So I appreciate you explaining that.
I was so sick of spending money on Morton gels, and I was just like, because I have 150 grams of carbs. So on my long runs, I do a long run back to back Saturday, Sunday. I'm blowing through like $100 of carbohydrates, and I'm like, what the fuck you could buy a gallon on Amazon for $70 of maple syrup, and then you just measure it with the food scale. And I was like, this is so much more efficient, cheaper. There is less volume compared to that. And for me and for ultras, I love less volume, less stomach issues. For me, the maple syrup doesn't give me stomach issues, but because I have a high sweat rate, I have to be taking in so much fluid. Otherwise things could go south. My, heart rate could spike. That with the maple syrup, it works perfectly for me. I swear by it. I've made countless amounts of TikToks on it. People have like tagged me on their story posts, and I'm like, this is the way to go. And I just don't buy Untapped because that's expensive when I can just go to the store and do it myself. No offense to Untapped. I think they're a great brand and they definitely nailed it on the nose, but Whole Foods maple syrup, 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree with you. Unless you have to carry or unless you have to take on race day or whatever, I think that's better. So I agree.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's what's kind of nice with a race that has that loop format, because you can really game plan and develop and adjust on the fly when things go differently.
100%. And you have something to look forward to on the loop. Like if something does go wrong, you know that if people are crewing you, or in this case, the race directors were 20 out of 10. They were absolutely amazing. You know what you need. Like you can look forward to that, where if you're just going out and back and you're stuck, you're kind of like dreading whatever it is. And if you screw up your nutrition or your hydration, it could be a rough way until you get to an aid station or a drop bag or something like that.
Yeah, especially at this one. I mean, you hear, what do you mean? And it's Evie, the other half of the race director.
Evie, yeah. She was on her stuff. That ultra was amazing. I've never been to an ultra where they start with some prayer and stuff like that. It felt the energy from the start felt amazing. I mean, I knew it was going to be a good day for everyone because of that. I've never witnessed anything like that before. I think that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. That was spectacular. And what caught me off guard too is at the finish line, you get a hug. I'm like, are you sure you want to hug me? Like, I'm stoked right now. Okay, sure. Let's lock in.
I give her a high five and she's like, no, I do hugs. I was like, damn, I just got denied from my high five.
Yeah.
I was soaking wet. I was doing an ice bandana because I was just like, the heat for me was, it was 30 degrees, the hottest, or highest, because 30 degrees.
Right.
And then it goes to 80. And that 50 degrees for me, when the sun came out towards like, I think, 11 o'clock, the sun started to peak. I was like, shit, I'm not. Sauna sessions in New York City do not get you used to the Florida sun and the heat. So I was soaked, and she's like, just give me a hug. Like, I don't do handshakes. I was like, okay, cool. Like, they were just amazing. And I didn't know her daughters. I think they ran the 10K. Am I wrong or something?
I think they did one of the relays.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're right. That sun did come out one time, and I was like, oh man, even me being from Florida, it's been a pretty cold winter down here. I call it one part of the course. There is no shade, no nothing. I'm like, man, that sun is for real right now.
Yeah. That's what I like about the course too. There's nothing that you're fully exposed. You're not hiding. Yeah. You're not hiding from anything. So
no, you're not.
Yeah, I did see that sun come out when I was at home. I was like, oh Lord, they're out there still.
Yeah, you're probably watching TV, like laughing at everyone.
Oh yeah.
And the AC bubble bath was already up. You're like, yeah, you guys will have fun.
I mean, we've already kind of mentioned that, that second, or not really the second lap, the third lap, and then the fourth lap. I do want to know how that final lap went down. Take us into that final loop. It's just that final 10K of the 50K. So how'd that loop go down?
I was just pretty much another long run for me. So I was just enjoying everything. I was just, like I said, I was passing people, keep it up. I'm proud of you. Were you running the 50K? Was this your third loop, fourth loop? Kind of just inspiring people because I knew my day was going to end and I was going to go back to the airport in 3 hours and hop on a plane and I would never see these people again. So I just kind of took everything in. Every time I passed someone, patted them on the back, proud of you, keep it up. They were like, keep going. And I just kind of looked at the course for what it was, accepted it. And I was like, this is beautiful. And just kind of like finished it easy. I didn't have any type of issues. Again, it wasn't like a PR attempt where I was struggling mentally. I was locked in minus the first couple loops because I didn't know what shoes to wear. And that was annoying, but yeah, it was awesome. And by that time the sun did come out. So I was just like taking it in a little bit of like, all right, this is what, Arizona is going to be like, and this is what every single race going forward is going to be like. So, just get used to it now and just kind of enjoy it. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, for me, I already mentioned the quad issue on lap 4, so that was going with me until lap 5. And of course, at the end of lap 4, I cannot let nobody know what's going on, so I'm going to run until I get to my fiance to begin lap 5 to get my stuff. And during that lap 4, I ran into I didn't know her name at the time, but Lindsay. She finished 6th. Me and her, we could see each other. She has her husband with her, and they kind of looked back, and she's running, stopping. She was having some sort of issue, and I'm like, okay, I gotta keep tracking her. I gotta get this. I gotta keep tracking her. So then we start loop 5, and we could see each other the whole entire time. And actually, at that, when we got to the halfway of the 10K, I actually passed her right there at the water bottles, or at the little station, where the water is at. I think for the next mile or mile and a half, we passed each other probably 2 or 3 times. And then when she passed me again, I could never keep up or catch up with her. We kind of kept eyeballing each other. So for me, that last lap was pretty fun. Besides the quads, I'll run as much as I can and then walk for 30 seconds or to a minute. But that last lap battle, that was pretty awesome. I think she finished probably a minute ahead of me or 45 seconds. So we were congratulating each other. Met her and her husband. That was a great lap.
So close. 45 seconds a minute. So close.
Yep. Well, when she made her turn to go across the finish line, I just came out in that horseshoe part at the very end. I looked at her and I'm like, I tried. And she's like, I know you did. I'm like, I know. But yeah, it was a good last lap battle. I loved it. Actually, I ran across a girl or lady on the last lap. I thought that she was on her last lap. And I'm like, hey, we're almost done. Almost done. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I got one more lap to go. And she was in a pain cave big time. And she thought it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, no, you got time. It's only 1:15, 1 o'clock, whatever it was. So she did end up going to finish, but that last lap, it was a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, that final stretch is nice. You go down the hill, you hit the left-hand turn, you got this like tunnel of trees, and then you pop up a hill, and it's just a horseshoe type thing right to that finish line.
I was gonna say that is my favorite, and that's I think the only part of the course where there's shade there, and it's flat, and it's truly flat, fast shade, and then you pop up a little bit, then you go to the horseshoe, and then you have that uphill until you kind of go back down a little bit. So yeah, I saw a couple people in the pain cave. I passed one person twice, I think, and she was walking a lot, but I think she screwed up her foot bad because she was like limping. I didn't get her name, but she's like, yeah, I'll be all right. My foot hurts. Don't know who it was, but that's rough when you kind of have to, you're 15 miles into 31 miler, and you just gotta kind of walk it, run it situation. It's like, do you DNF or do you push through and do more damage than you actually should? So,
I mean, hey, I've done the 20-minute mile, 30-minute mile. It's quite the adventure.
Oh yeah, no, I've sadly been there before. It's very defeating. I mean, you've done the Tahoe 200, right?
I made it to 100 miles. At that point, I was 1-8 for the 100-mile, so I was just happy that I finally made it to 100 miles.
Damn, yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, no, that's still it was an accomplishment.
Huge win.
Yeah.
But I guess like looking back at it, I mean, did y'all have a favorite section of the course? Because like we've talked about this whole episode, there's the straightaways, the first couple miles, middle miles, the fields, the hills, that 1K to the finish, or a part that just didn't hurt as much. Did y'all have a favorite part?
Oh yeah. For me, it's easy. Justin already mentioned it's that last 1K. You got that big dirt mound. It's very tall, it's nice and shady. For me, I don't know what it was, but that part was so peaceful. I mean, it's just very nice. Of course, the shade makes it nice, but that was to me, that was one of the most beautiful parts of the course. I love that part. It had a big, huge trees, big dirt mound, where it's kind of like almost in a valley, kind of so to speak. And then all of a sudden you poke out and there's everybody to aid you and the finish line. And to me, that was the best part of the course. I like that part.
I have to second that. I think that was my favorite for sure. Kind of like icing on the cake. Feels like you're in like a tunnel with like the trees. You can finally see some trees after going through the fields. You kind of like make that left turn to go down, and then you just hit the flats. And then the flats, you could pick up some speed because it's finally flat, and you're like, all right, finally. And then you pop up to the right, you see a little bit of a hill, and then everyone's there. You see the horseshoe, the tent, the cars, the people. Everyone's like cheering, and then it's just like, cool. Yeah, I like that one. The fields were nice too because they were exposed and the sun was nice. And it was kind of like, it felt like a maze out there in like a weird way for me because I haven't really ran through those, fields, I guess you could say. But no, the last 1K was definitely my favorite.
Yeah. I think one part of 1K, I started laughing because your family. My fiance, she was there, so of course your family keeps track of like, okay, this person was ahead of. He should be coming any minute. Well, I think it was lap 4. I'd passed like 3 or 4 people, and the quads were hurting, but I kind of managed it. Took all my gels I had on me, so they're feeling a bit better. So I'm busting out through the sun, and man, she jumped up like, oh my god, how did you get in front of these people? That was the one that to me, that was a great moment of the race. Felt good, and just watch her pop up with excitement come out of that tunnel like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's surreal. Yeah, that's awesome. Have you, I meant to ask before, do you take Tylenol on your ultras? Have you tried that before or no?
I hadn't tried Tylenol, but I do take ibuprofen before, but if I need to take Tylenol, you tell me, I'll take it.
I was going to say it's worked before for me in a 50 miler because at the Beast of the Burden, that was my second 50. My quads shit the bed, but they shit the bed because I was not trained. My longest run at that point, like an amateur, was 28 miles. I was like, 35 came, and then my friend was there, and I was like, I need Tylenol on ice right now. I took 2 Tylenol for the next 5 miles. I was like, this is bearable and doable, and then I just crushed it to the finish. So I always keep it on me in case in like a drop bag, in case anything goes wrong or I twist my ankle and I'm like have to finish whatever it may be. But I would try it in like a practice run if you can. I mean, you may not be in pain to feel it, but for me, it doesn't really mess up my stomach much, and I think it gets absorbed through the stomach, and it's a lot quicker absorption, especially with the extra strength that they have. So it could be for the next one, something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely try that out.
Yeah, I forget which one, ibuprofen, Tylenol, the plethora of them. I forget which one is bad for your kidneys and which one is safe-ish.
I think it's ibuprofen. Because of how it affects the kidneys and hydration during everything. I think there's higher risk because it's a
mean.
It's a NSAID, I think they call it, and it blocks something in the kidney that progenilis. Anyway, it helps regulate blood flow to the kidneys, and I know ibuprofen blocks that. So I think what happens when you take ibuprofen is when it blocks that, then you also start to have dehydration. When you start to have reduced kidney blood flow, that's when you can kind of shut off your system, and rhabdo can actually come in. So taking ibuprofen on top of like obviously doing an ultra, which is very stressful, can actually give you that acute kidney injury and rhabdo and a big electrolyte imbalance. And I think Tylenol isn't in a NSAID, whatever they call it, so it doesn't reduce kidney blood flow. It's more digested through the stomach liner, is what I was told. So that's why a lot of people use it during races. And I think David Roach is very big on that. When he did Leadville, he was taking Tylenol. So I think that's what it is, if that sounds correct. But of course, look it up, and I think that's somewhat probably along the lines. But I could be wrong.
I think that's right. I think it is, yeah.
Everyone's different, though. I know a lot of people use Tylenol. So good to look it up and maybe educate myself and everyone else.
Nobody wants rhabdo.
Nobody wants rhabdo.
No, I don't.
I feel like it's really hard to get, but I could be wrong. I've never gotten it with all the training in ultras. I think it's maybe not training hard enough, but I'm not too sure. Hydration issue. I don't really, not a doctor there, but I know people can kind of get seriously like in the hospital for a few days, depending how bad it is.
Yeah, I've known plenty of people who have gotten rhabdo and their race ended very early. But obviously that's not the case here. Not with the all day at Holloway.
No,
Oh
I
no.
think everyone I didn't stay to the finish line, but I think everyone finished in good health and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had we're sitting at the start and finish line. We're kind of behind the tents, I think, where you were at, Joseph, when you came up. We were kind of behind that tree to sit on a cooler and chair. While I got done, there was a family next to me, mother and daughter. They did zero training,
Oh
zero
God.
nothing, and they were into 50K. And I'm like, oh, I just got done and they were about to start lap 4. Man, they were hurting. I was like, oh man, it might be a long day.
I mean, you got to give them credit though
Oh yeah, absolutely.
to do that, of course, but you got to give them credit, if in
Oh yeah,
life or death situation, I think a lot of people can run a marathon tomorrow or 50K, but if you have the preparation and you sign up for it, you should prepare for it. That's how I kind of look at it.
oh yeah, I definitely high-fived them, and they were good spirits, man. They were laughing, cutting up, and they were hurting. But I high-fived. I said, man, I look up to you guys for even doing
Yeah.
this without even training. That's impressive.
I think we've all been there too. We can relate to them, like our first ultra, like first long run,
Oh yeah,
you're really hurting or something goes wrong and you're like, I've been there before. You'll be fine. You'll live another day. But
absolutely.
that's awesome.
But I mean, sorry, my wife just handed me a drink from Wawa. Nice.
Oh nice.
Diet Coke.
But I mean, when you see those people out there, they might be just going for it for the first time. And that is such a big moment. And even for us who, we've done it before, we've gone that kind of mileage. But did y'all have the best moment of the day? Like, was there a time where you're, hell yeah, like this is awesome?
I guess like lap 4 and 5 for me when I started to pass people and just congratulate them and inspire them to keep going. Like that's kind of me every race. Like there's just something within me that like giving positive energy out there and, telling people to keep going, telling people I'm proud of you and not knowing what they've been through and they, get a smile on their face and they give you encouragement back. I think that's the biggest runner's high that you can ever get rather than just running for X amount of miles and experience a runner's high. If you can go out there and especially go out of your way and just do that. So that was the best part of the day for me was knowing that I'm almost done, accomplishing what my coach wanted me to accomplish, which was keep the heart rate low, go out there like another long run, enjoy it, get back to training, have fun in the heat. That was like the biggest high for me that I'll take away from that race, along with the community, the course itself, and stacking up another ultra. But again, it's the people out there that you'll never meet again, and maybe you'll meet them and exchange some numbers and become best friends with them. But to encourage the people, that was the biggest high for me because knowing that I was almost done and people were on lap 3, because when I started the ultra running community, like, I'm not as fast. I'm faster now, but I'm not the fastest. But my first ultra, when people were lapping me, I'm like, damn, I want to be like that guy. And those people that were passing me were encouraging me back then. So like, as you kind of like, you stack up some ultras and get faster and stuff, and you become that guy, that's the highs that I get from every race, no matter what it is. And doesn't matter what low I'm experiencing. As soon as I pass someone, I'll try my best to encourage them and stuff. So yeah, I guess that was it for me.
Yeah, I agree with Justin on that. For me, probably two different things here. To me, I love the ultra running community, trail running, that type of stuff. To me, it is a little bit different. I love seeing the people out there for the first time, even no training. To me, that's inspiring. Like, hell yeah, let's get out here like a family. Let's get to know each other. If you need help, I'm gonna help you. Hope if I need help, you're gonna help me, and let's do this all together. So I love that part of the ultra. I love the aid station party type atmospheres like at the Colt 45. Here at Holloway, they had music going there to start finish line. That's the stuff I really enjoy. I love the fact that a small percentage of people in the world will push themselves to do something like that. I think it's cool to be a part of that group. I think it's cool to see other people elevating their game to just try and make yourself better. So that's one part of it. That's one reason why I love it, to help each other out, the atmosphere. And then part for me is on a personal level, I would say about lap 3, I was I'm in tune, in the groove, feeling good. Of course, the heart rate's a little bit up. But as far as that, everything's going as planned, passing a few people. And to me, I was thinking to myself, man, this is why we train. This is why we log into miles at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 3 a.m. Even at nighttime, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Like, this is why we log into miles, so we can go out here and, show yourself what you're made of. So for me, I say probably lap 3, I kind of had that moment where I was like soaking it in, and just feeling good. And then the ultra community, just the atmosphere. It's awesome.
Yeah, nailed that completely. Those miles, like you said, at 4 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. and stuff where no one sees it, you can really show it off there. That's the work that nobody sees, but it's the work that's always going to take care of you every single race, and not a lot of people can do that. And that's, going back to what you said about being the small percentage and kind of like being part of that group that challenges themselves and wants to challenge themselves, not for any monetary gain or just for internal purposes, is very special. It's extremely unique. And it's really hard to find elsewhere. Like if you just go to work and stuff and people aren't in the ultra running community, it's like all they do is work and it's like they don't do anything else. You're like, I can't really relate to you. I like to push myself and do this, so when you can go to races and meet new people for the first time, especially the first timers, man, so inspiring. It makes you like anything that you're going through for the day doesn't matter. Someone's going through something worse, someone's having a rougher day, and you just come together and push each other, especially, yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You said something there that made me laugh. Like going to work or your friends or family, like, so what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing a 31-mile race on Saturday. Why? They look at you like you're crazy. So then you put it in the trainer like, dude, there's something wrong with you. Like there's something mentally wrong with you. Of course, I just laugh. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then you go out to the race and you're like, okay, these are my peeps. Yeah. Let's grind. Let's grind it out all day, baby.
It's like everyone's your friend that you've never met before because you've been out there grinding for so many weeks to go to the race. Yeah. And they can personally relate to you on any type of level where, I'm running 31 miles. Oh, are you good? Did you get hurt? Like who hurt you? Like, it's like, no, want to push myself because I have one life and I want to like realize what I can do. So this is my thing. And everyone has that one thing that does it. And for us, it's ultras. So
and you mentioned it too earlier in the podcast. To me, I'm finding out, everybody's got a background. Everybody has a story. Somebody's got a worse story, but most of your people in the ultra community, I feel like anyway, they got a one hell of a story. And I think that's one reason why they push themselves. They want to be better because they've been through something in their life and they're looking for a challenge.
No, you nailed that. And I think you guys probably know there's a huge correlation between trauma and hardship with ultra running and stuff like that in individuals. So everyone's got something and they just want to make it better or, obviously see what they're, capable of, but it's a way for them to escape in a good way and push themselves. So I don't know the complete science behind it, but I know there is a big correlation between like trauma and trying to challenge yourself with hard things, whether it's ultra running or anything else.
Yeah, it's good to break yourself down to that simplest form. And even too, like y'all mentioned too, like the vibes that you put out, you feel it like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when you scare someone in the middle of the night because you're going, yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah.
I get pumped up and I hope they get pumped up.
Oh yeah. I was on a training run recently and this guy, he always walked. Most people that walk and run, they're talkative. And I'm actually just one of the few times I ran during the day. Usually I do most of my training where nobody can see you. I do that for a reason. To me, I like it. But for some reason this day I ran during the daytime and I seen this guy and I'm like, oh man, hey, how you doing? He didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, this is strange. Well, then he passed me, and as soon as he passed me, I turned, he jumped like I was about to hit him or something. I'm like, dude, oh my God, calm down, dude. Like, I'm out here with you. We're grinding, buddy. So that's kind of funny.
Probably shit his pants.
He probably did.
The trail people, it's a different cult of personality. And I guess, we can kind of start to wrap it up with, it's a classic question that I always love to do. For all day at Holloway, the 50K, what was the good, the bad, and the ugly out there?
I'm going to keep it. Yeah, go for it.
There you go ahead. I should have known this was coming because I listened to this podcast today getting ready for this. Just to kind of get a feel for it. I should have known this was coming. I'm going to let you go first.
I may have to change, depending on what you say, I may have to change mine, but it's going to sound cliche and boring. There is no bad days in my eyes. So for me, that race was a 20 out of 10. From the atmosphere to the course, to the people that were there, to the encouragement, to the energy that I brought out. I just don't believe in bad days because I think the only thing that we can really control is how hard we work in our mindset. So if I were to go through something going into that race, I could have let it affect me and had a bad day or a bad race, but there was nothing bad about that race. Now, I'll be honest with you. If it was snowing, I'd probably bitch a little bit and be like, this sucks. because I absolutely hate the snow. But other than that, no, there was nothing bad about that course. The good was the environment, the race directors, the people that were racing as well. Good sportsmanship from start to finish. They had ample amounts of ice, which I loved, liquids. Anything that you needed, they were there for you every time that you crossed that finish line, which at a lot of ultras, I will say, and it's no disrespect to any other ultras, I'm sure you guys can maybe tune in and be like, yeah, I've been there before. There is zero support. The race directors just say start, and then they're just looking at their computer on a phone, and then you just do a loop and you finish a 50 miler and they're like, good job, your time was 6 hours. And that's really it, some of these races, right? So for them to put on a really good event, they nailed it. It's definitely a race that I want to go back to, even though next year I want to do Black Canyon. So it's going to be, a little bit of a quick turnaround, but I absolutely loved it. I think it was a 20 out of 10 all around. Anything bad for me? No, I don't think there was anything bad at all.
I would say for me, the good, bad, and the ugly. Had a lot to think here because I'll let Kaufmann go first. I would say the ugly was the lap 4 real quick when the quad started to lock up. That was small, minute. That was not going to ruin my day. I would say the good, the vibes, the atmosphere, the prayer at the beginning, the hug at the end, it all felt like family. Atmosphere was great. That's what I love about ultra running. The good on a personal level was my first ultra race, the Colt 45. I think it took me 11 hours and 9 minutes, 31 miles. Of course, I still had 14 more miles to go, but I did it in 5 hours, 37 minutes. So making gains. That's what all the training's for. Yeah. So I was pumped. I was shooting for 5 hours, but, so the training's paying off. That felt good on a personal level. And if I had to say one bad, the one thing I'm going to say is the bad was that it was over. Because when it's over, you're like, damn, now what do we do? Like, I want that thing to go all day, because, we train alone most of the time. I do all my training by myself. And when you get out there, you're in that moment. You're in that vibe. You're in there with your peeps. You're seeing people do things they ain't never done. And for me, oh man, that just jacks me up. I love it. I'm so out there smiling, even though it may be hurting. I love every second of that. And then all of a sudden you cross the finish line, a few high fives, a few pictures, and then it's like, well, damn, I got to drag this cooler back to the truck and we're done. But overall, it was a great day at Holloway. I'll definitely do it next year if they go back, and I love it.
To add to that, I think the really good about that course was he nailed it. The family vibe. I think that felt like a real community of like everyone was a part of them. You know what I mean? Like everyone was there for like a family, a big community. Started with the prayer, ended with the hug. Oh, yeah. That's how it should be done every race, in my opinion. Everyone's different, of course. They could say what they say, but that made you really feel like you were a part of something special. You were doing something special, which of course you were when you run 50Ks and ultras. It's definitely special for everyone, but that atmosphere put a smile on my face, and I still feel the energy from that. And I tell everyone in New York City about it too, of like, oh, you're just in Florida yet. Like, if you want a community, I was like, this is a good race to go to. Like, it was awesome. So if they do it again, for sure, I think a lot more people are going to show up and everything like that. So,
yep. And one thing we hadn't mentioned is that I also love the national anthem. To me, that gives me goosebumps.
I forgot.
So I love that part of it. Yeah, I did too.
You know why? You know why I forgot about it? Because we couldn't see the flag. I was like,
hey, we couldn't see the flag, but for me, that gives me like that. That's kind of like goosebumps. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the flag until like mile 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it, Joseph.
Yep, see ya.
Thanks, Joseph, for having us on. Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, and there we have it with episode 120 of the Florida Trail Runners podcast with the All Day at Holloway put on by RunFluent. Huge thanks to Justin and Todd for joining us, sharing their experiences from the 50K. Whether you're chasing the 50K, the 30K, or just having fun on the 10K like I did, there's something for every runner at this race. So yeah, hey, until next time, happy trails.
Where the palm trees sway, mossy oaks, palmetto pines and cypress knees, all grass bending, go find your way. Swarm mist rising, every step I take, I feel it flow. Beach sunrises, beach sunsets, sugar sand all around. From the Swanee River to the St. John's, from Crystal River and the Rainbow Springs, Weeki, Watchee, and Manatees, and the Everglades, and Lake Okeechobee. The humidity is sticky, but I love this game. From the Panhandle down to the Keys, running running free where the world feels at ease. Florida trails take me higher through the pines and palmetto. The National Scenic Trail, muddy shoes, sun on my face. Every mile is a wild embrace. Florida trails don't let me go. Through the hammock, the marsh and the glow. Florida trail runner, all over the state. Trail runner, near and far. Florida trail runner, Florida is the home. Out in the woods, out in the swamps, down by the Lake Coachee. It started with the Padres, now it's a thing. The Florida trail runner, I see the skunk case chasing me down. I'm doing the long haul, running all over town. Aid station to aid station, I see the skunk case chasing me down. I'm doing the long haul, running all over town. Starting in the north, Tallahassee. Starting Central Florida, Tampa, Ocala, Orlando, Dade City. Green Swan, headed down south, headed to the Keys, Lake to Ocean, Miami. Out to the East Coast, Daytona, Jacksonville, Pioneer Trail.